Hey guys, today we're going to recap one of the saddest and most disturbing endings, so viewer discretion is advised. The film opens with couples, Alicia, Daniel, and their friend, Chris are driving to a remote, unknown area. When Daniel goes for a pee, Chris asks Alicia if she told him what they did. She responds by saying they should forget it never happened. They then drive off to a place that used to be a war zone a couple years ago. Then the three start to hike and talk about Russia and recent wars. The three reach a cliff that has a beautiful view. Daniel asked Alicia to marry her right there, and they started to say their vows, but Chris became uncomfortable and told them he would meet them down the hill and leave at night. Daniel asked Chris what was wrong with him. He said he was fine. They told him they would never forget about him, and they would do everything together. Then the two went to their tent in the morning. When Chris woke up, he saw someone going through their stuff when he confronted him. Daniel and Alicia come and tell him he's the cameraman. Chris apologized and asked him to take pictures of the three. When the guy started taking pictures, he spotted a bomb. Chris was standing on a landmine. He told Chris not to move. When he asked what they should do, the guy told them he would go back to the city to find help. When they asked when he would come back, he said it would take him at least 4 hours. Chris said he couldn't stand like this for 4 hours, but Daniel asked him to go anyway. And then Daniel told Alicia to go behind the rock and to never come. Chris told him to go with her, but Daniel insists he will stay with him. Then we see Debbie, the guy running to Cliff, looking at Chris with a telescope. Daniel finds a signal and tells Alicia. Daniel start talking to responders and ask for help, but the call ends. When Alicia asked him what she said, he told her. She said, they don't save and tell her she is filthy. He goes back to Chris. He told Alicia that he told him everything. Alicia begged Daniel to call for help, saying, it is not the time to talk about this. She also told she wanted to tell him everything. He said there was no signal and asked Chris, what are the chances that he is stepping on landmine? He told him it is pretty low. Then Daniel gave shovel to Alicia and told her, if she want to save him, she have to dig the landmine, but he say it might not work. When Chris asked him if he planned this, he said, Debbie did, but he take the pleasure and told him he first step on mine. When he decided to sleep with his girl, Alicia begs him to stop saying she loves him, but he just leave him there, saying it is time to dig. Daniel goes to Debbie and tells him he wants to leave, then goes to the stripper and buys beer. Alicia tried to designate the bomb by plugging a pin, but she told him it was still not safe. They had to do, as Daniel said. While later we see a man with a gun seeing Chris and Alicia. His dog tried to attack Chris. The guy stops the dog and point a gun at them. Ask Chris to move, but they pointed at the bomb and he finally realized the situation. They ask him for help, but he throw rock at him and ask them, why are they in this situation? She finally told him about the cheating and that everything was revenge. He told her she is, but he agreed to help if they give him their stuff. When Chris gave him his money and credit card, he pointed at Alicia and said he want her underwear, not American dollars. She said okay, and when she goes to take her clothes off, he said she have to take it off in front of him. When they refuse, he threatened to push Chris. Then she finally agreed and give him her underwear. He took her underwear and start to dig. But it turned out he have radio. They asked him to use it, but he refuses and told them to ask him politely. When they ask him, he throw the underwear and ask her to bring at him like a dog. She bring him her underwear like dog and he gives her radio, but the responders doesn't speak English. When they ask him to translate, he asks her to undress. If they want him to translate, they agreed. And when he translate one sentence, she undress one clothing. But Alicia become uncomfortable and ask him to leave. But he keep translating and ask her to undress. When she refused, he point a gun at her, but Chris distract him and Alicia runs, and the guy goes after her. But when he leaves, Chris used the chains to took the rifle he left behind. When he comes, the guy hold knife at Alicia and orders him to drop the gun, but Chris fear he will shoot both and hesitate. Then the guy took her to nearby cliff and brutally rapes her, while Chris is watching. When he finished, Chris sees he can shoot him and point the gun at him, but the dog charged at him and beats him. He fall to the hole, but the bomb never explode. While later, when Chris wakes up, the guy told him the landmine was fake and real landmine explode the moment you steps on it. He also told them their friend was smart and leaves them at the hole next. We see mother and daughter talking in Georgia. Language seems like arguing, but Chris knocks at their door and asks for a direction. They told him he was in the wrong way, but they offer him to use their internet for location. He gets to the house, the daughter give him the map. They also invite him to a dinner. Then we see the same guy working at backyard. When he comes, he sees Chris at dinner. He freaked out seeing him there and asks him to leave. But Chris said he loved to finish the meal. The guy orders him to leave on his way. The guy asked Chris to leave his family out of this and said he would meet him at a certain place in an hour. Chris agreed and left. Later, Chris came back to their house with a badly injured dog. He said he accidentally ran him over when the guy found out he had taken out his gun. But Chris said he was not loaded and shot both his legs. When his wife and daughter saw him, he said it was self-defense and ordered them to go inside. He ordered the daughter to tie her mother up. Chris makes the girls drink vodka and purees it on the guy's leg. Then Chris orders the daughter to give him her underwear and asks her to bring it to him like a dog. He shoves it under the guy's mouth. Then he starts telling the story about Alicia and how their father raped and killed her. He also orders the daughter to play the undress game, but this time it is with a gun and one bullet. But the last time he fatally shoots her, he panics, and he sits down. He hears both parents crying frantically. Please subscribe for more movies.